Good afternoon. We are going to take about this fire safety unit number 3 today. Actually, after completing the unit number 1 and 2, this unit number 3 discuss about that fire safety measures, how to detect the fire, type of detectors, and what are the maintenance you are supposed to carry out. Okay, here we have a fire control station ship which is having all kind of alarms happening. This is the fire control station where it is showing that indicator functions. They have a fixed fire detection alarm system. The fixed fire detection means it is got input sensors from various parts of the ship and it has been connected to that particular alarm panel where you have fire detection is there. Any part of the ship when you have any fire, the detection will be shown in the alarm system in the fire station. Normally it is called emergency control station. It is a part of accommodation. We can reach from control room as well as reach easily is inside the accommodation. So the fixed fire detection alarm system is a part of the main system. We have that. And automatic sprinklers and fire detection alarm system. Suppose you have passenger ship, you have an automatic fire sprinkler system. In case of fire, sprinkler bulbs they burst and pressurized water comes to extinguish the fire, particularly the compression fire. So automatic sprinkler system operation also is part of the emergency control station, the fire control station. Third one is fire control indicator panels and self-closing mechanism. That means fire control indicator panels are then which zone is under fire, where the fire is already originated, so that the location you can locate it and go around that place and with the portable extinguisher you can try to fight the fire. In case required, additional forces can be accumulated and additional source of firefighting appliances can be brought to the location. So there, indication panels and certain places need self-closing mechanism to stop the air. That means skylights or doors or ventilation, everything you do. Then for self-closing mechanism, they are operated either pneumatically or hydraulically. Okay, those the self-closing mechanism. The fourth one is water-tight door indicator panels closing system. Between one compartment and another compartment, you have water-tight door. For example, engine room or steering gear room, you have a water-tight door indicator panel which can be operated for this same fire control station or outside the accommodation any other place. So water-tight door not necessarily is part of the control station, but normally it is within the accommodation. A separate panel is there. Ventilation fan stop controls. Normally any kind of fire, ventilation fan has to stop. Mostly in case if you have a sewer door system, you are operating means a sewer filtering system. Moment you open the panel, all the ventilation fans will stop automatically. In case it required, you can always stop it manually and restart it. If you want to ventilate the area again after extinguishing the fire, you can start it from the same fire control station manually, ventilation fans. Okay, general fire alarms, generally we have in case of station or in case of emergency, any part of the ship you can have a calling alarms. So intimate other people, if you notice the fire and fire alarm can be activated even the accommodation engine room or any part of the ship you can operate. So the general fire alarms, for any emergency fire alarm is meant for only fire alarms. In case of fire, you will activate the alarm. Manual call buttons you call it. Communications including telephones. Throughout the telephone you can communicate. In case required, you can use a talkback system or any kind of walkie-talkie or VHF system. You can communication within the ship as well as shore. So microphones for communicator system. In case you want to draw the attention of everybody at the same time, you can use a communicator system. This is a part of a fire control station which is having all kind of these things are included in the fire control station. They still go to the fire control unit. This has got a panel, so indicating that this is a part of the fire control panel. The zones are separated here, and the zones having a separate, each and every zone, lot of fire detectors, smoke detectors, or flame detectors are grouped into one section. There are shown 6 sections. Each will be having indicator bulbs. Any of the places you have fire, the particular zone will be having alarm. In this audible alarm is there. You want to do some work or anything major, you want to isolate it in some certain area for a certain time. Then you can isolate the area and but don't forget to put it on again once work is over. So the isolation things are there. This is supplied by a emergency source of power from a battery as well as the main supply. Main supply is 230 volt supply is available. In case failure, power failure, then what will happen? The battery charges through inverter. The inverter will have a 230 volt supply to this packet. So fire control panel is supplied around the clock 24 hours. In case of power failure in the ship, so the fire control panel is active condition. even in the dark, what we call blackout condition also. So there, this from this point, they have a wiring to the different zones and detector heads are there. So we are going to see about what kind of detector heads are we placed where this section. Some sections need flame detector, some sections you need fire detectors or heat detectors, or sometimes you have a smoke detector. So depends on the zone, what type of heads you are going to make, we will discuss later. So this is called detector unit. Okay, that's what it says. Fire detection control unit consists of grid-proof enclosed panel containing the fire analysis system, ground indication alarm, and power failure alarm device. It has got a power failure. In case if the panel itself is got some problem, you get a power failure alarm. This device must register both the visual and audible signal. When fire is detected, the alarm will stay around well keep ringing until the resetting device is operating manually. For example, this fire alarm is ringing here. Repeater is provided in the engine control room as well as bridge. So someone has to go, some officer in charge has to go and see this panel where the road has alarm has come. So without checking the area, we will not reset that. You have to inspect the area. Typically, you can reset the alarm, but you have to visit that particular zone and check that where the alarm has come, for what reason the alarm has come. So you have to take the remedial measures for fighting the fire or stopping some ventilation or something. So before that, you have to identify the fire where zone it has come. Maybe it's a false alarm. So false alarm, momentarily some smoke has come and stop. So you have to check the area, then you come and reset the alarm and put on the panel. In case this panel itself is failing, panel itself is got a breakdown due to internal electrical circuit, it is got a failure means that it will give a failure alarm. It is a system failure alarm. So this alarm system is a system failure alarm. This is zonal connection. Right. So we'll go to this point, what is called manual calling points. Now throughout the ship, throughout the operation, engine room, everywhere operation, everywhere the passengers, elements, except the cabins. When you come out of the gate, we have manual call points. The red color, the buttons are available. Some modern ships having a glass fitted on there, you can remove the glass door or glass flap. Then you can manually operate these call points inside throughout the commercial spaces, service station, control stations. One manually operated call point should be located at each exit. Every place is the exit where it is going. Just before that, we must have a manual calling point. Manual corporate call points are readily accessible to corridors of each step, so that no part of the corridor is more than 20 meters from manual operated call point. This is more essential important point for public passenger vessels. The passengers who come out, they must be aware of that manual call point. Even the passenger can notice a fire, then naturally they can use this call point. Not only the passengers, crew, or any staff working over the ship, you can use this manually operated call point. Detectors wiring. Now, wiring of this detector panel itself is very important because in case of fire, the wiring should not get damaged because of the intensity of fire. Electrical wiring forms part of the system can be arranged so that avoid galleys machines within category A. And other reinforcements of high fairness except where it is necessary to provide for the fire detection of fire alarm such cases or current appropriate power supply. Now, you know that power supply is provided for the main power supply 230 volts or whatever it is, the ship's power supply. There you have a static power supply from the power supply. In case the main power supply fails, emergency generator is always there. It comes on automatically and the power is available immediately. Even in that case, power is not available. The inverter, the battery supply is always there. So this particular wiring and wiring part of that should avoid the hot spaces. That's what I say. You should avoid machine spaces of category A. Category A means the category Bulgaria, class A Bulgaria is made of. So avoid the galley, the galley where you are supposed to have what you call flame or hot furnace or kind of things. Machine spaces, you having a hot chambers near any place which is hot, like a boiler or incinerator, those kind of area, adjacent to any kind of hot area which can affect the electrical wiring. That's more important. So that's why wiring they are not talking about the panel alone, the control panel which is accommodation. It is a place where the sensor is going. From the sensor, wiring is going to the control panel. From the remote part of the ship, wiring has to pass through so many places, and they have to avoid this galley and machine spaces. That means normally conduit pipes are provided, insulated, they think well insulated pipes are provided for carrying this wiring from the sensors to the control panel. Location of fire detector. Batteries are provided for optimal performance. Position near beams and ventilation types are other position types. The patterns also put operational effect performance, functional impact. Now we have a fire sensor or a smoke sensor something. Now it is going to sense the heat of flame. There should not be an obstruction. We have a beam or some kind of ventilation fans or the smoke is coming, the ventilation fan is blowing the smoke away means the sensor is not going to work and show the indication of fire. So that kind of ventilation or ducting or any kind of position, it will put hours the performance of the position of the thing. So it should not affect the performance of these kind of smoke sensors or fire sensors. In general, buildings are located on overhead shot by minimum distance of 0.5 meters away from the bulkheads. From the bulkhead, it should be 0.5 meters away. 0.5 meters, about 5 centimeters away from the bulkhead, or they should not be close to the bulkheads or harness. So this is spacing is given maximum spacing detectors. These are the typical spacing given for the maximum floor area for heat detectors, smoke detectors. There are two types they are shown. 37 meters square area, floor area, distance apart. How much distance it has to be away? 9 meters apart. If it is a higher area for the heat is 9 meters, smoke means 11 meters. Okay. Maximum distance away from the bulkhead is 4.2. These are classification specific rules. And the classes will be implemented with the administrator, what you call the various flag states administration. They implement this, even the shipbuilding say, make sure that this rule is followed. Administration may require a permanent other spacing based on a test data will demonstrate the casting of the detectors. There are three types of fire detectors. Three types of fire detectors, major things are, of course, there are plenty of types are there. So one is the heat detector which sets the heat. The second one is a flame detector which observes the flame right in front of you. Another one is the smoke. Maybe the flame or heat is little far away, but the smoke emanating from the place, you can smoke detector. So these are the three major types we are going to discuss about one by one. Fire detectors. Generally, the fire detectors they call it three types. What I showed you just now, they call general name is fire detectors, but the types of these three. Okay. Here, fire detectors sense the heat or smoke or flame and some other indication of fire initiate the alarm. So, any one of the type it will sense the heat. Then after that, it initiate the alarm. Various states are available depending upon the fire area to be covered, volume and height of the compartment and atmospheric space. It depends on the atmosphere, space, the type of the compartment. Maybe the compartment itself is having always have a high humid atmosphere. Then they have some kind of temperature in this one. Or the area is going to have a smoke, then have a smoke temperature. So it depends on the area to be covered, volume of the compartment, height of the compartment, atmospheric condition. Now we will come to the first one, smoke detectors. Smoke detectors shall be installed in all stairways, corridors, escape routes within the accommodation spaces. Smoke detectors mainly used in the accommodation spaces where the passengers are there or passenger crew is in the ship. Consideration shall be given to the installation of several smoke detectors within the ventilation ducting. The ventilation ducting, we are going to install a smoke detector. The air flow is always there. The passing air. Whether it is a refrigerated air, cool air or hot air, whatever it is, the trunking is going for air conditioning or refrigeration compartment, anything. So this area is special type of smoke detectors are needed for identifying the smoke. Fixed fire detection, fire alarms required for the production space other than those specific, at least one detector shall be installed in such space. So minimum one detector. Smoke detector should be installed in this space. Smoke detector shall be certified operate before smoke detects 12.5 obscuration per meter. That means obscuration means that observing. Obscuration means so it is going to identify. That is called obscuration. That is called the technical is called obscuration. And 12.5% obscuration. Now, what do you say? What do you have oxygen percentage? 21%. Okay, and when it comes down below 8%, it is called inert condition. Less oxygen. Like that, the density, smoke density increases by 12%. That means up to 12.5%, nothing will happen. Nobody, the smoke density increases 12.5% obscuration per meter within the distance that the smoke sensors are operational. This is one type of smoke, the smoke detector is humidity type, where you have a flame, the smoke is going through that, you have a projector lamp, and you have a lens across here. So, rate of rise type smoke detector. Okay, this is smoke detector of some knob type thing. It can be replaced. This all this the assembly can be replaced in case you have fault. Smoke extraction system was initiated in public as well as okay. Now, smoke extraction system. That means public spaces, finally we have a, in the past universities, we have a big, what do you call, hall or dining hall or dancing floor or bar or restaurant or something. Those places there are smoke extraction. Because the smoke is being continuously being extracted to identify how the smoke is being increased in the density or not. So I used to treat the smoke detector capable of manual control treated the smoke detector system. These fans have the capacity to restrict the smoke of entire volume to the space within 10 minutes or less. Entire area of the complete volume of air can be extracted. The entire space can be within 10 minutes can be extracted. This is what smoke extractors. Heat detectors, heat sensors and detectors may be fixed temperature, randomized temperatures. There are two types heat detectors. They call fixed temperature or rate of rise. That means at 78 degrees or 75 degrees temperature when it reaches, the alarm comes. Or sometimes for rate of rise type. There are several types. Some areas you have a rate of rise is the temperature is rising from 40 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade very fast. Then the alarm will come. But if it is gradually rising 41, 42 over a period of half an hour, that will not work. So there are two types. Rate of rise do not respond to give alarm. Temperature gradually increases. Example, such moving in tropical region, heating is now, for example, this area we are in a tropical region, you are using the room heater, for example. You are increasing the heat by from 50 degrees centigrade to 25 degrees. Slowly. Okay, you want the comfort of the accommodation, but moment it crosses, the rate of rise is too much. The rate of rise is very fast rate is coming in due to the heat, electrical heaters or steam heaters, then this rate of rise can happen. When the rate of rise is very fast. So otherwise, normally used heat sensors are fixed temperature. Actually, it does. But for example, you should be have a laundry room. Laundry room supposed to have a temperature 70 to 75 degrees centigrade to keep it for drying the cloth. But moment the drying room temperature goes to 80 or 85, then that fixed temperature heat sensor is going to go. So it depends on the area where you are going to fit the heat sensors. Heat detectors have a certificate to operate below the temperature exceeds 78 degrees centigrade. One of the major type in the ship, but not until the temperature 851 degrees centigrade. When the temperature reaches those limits, rate pressure 1 degree per centigrade, 1 degree centigrade per minute. That means per minute it can increase up to 1 degree centigrade, 40, 41. On this minute, 42. Then this minute 43. Up to that, okay. If it crosses that limit, then the alarm is. At higher rates of temperature rise, the heat detector shall operate within the temperature limits to satisfactional efficient and having good accordance. Anyway, rate of rise also, it has got a fixed temperature. When it reaches the maximum temperature, for example, 78 degrees, then the alarm is going to come. That's called heat detector. It senses only the heat. The temperature inside the hall or the particular compartment increases, then the heat detector is going to work. The discretion administration, the possible permissible temperature operational heat detectors may be increased to 30 degrees centigrade over the maximum taken temperature. Dry rooms in similar spaces are normal high temperature. Some room is really hot. For example, engine room. Engine room is always the temperature is about around 10 to 40 degrees centigrade. So they have a temperature is up to maximum 30 degrees. Maximum up to 30 degrees around. So there are type of detectors going through that. Bimetal coil type detector. What is that? Second one is called pneumatic type of heat detector. Okay. Now here, bimetal type have two metallic strips on there, A and B. So due to the heat, actually this will move faster because it is exposed to the heat, whereas this one will move slower. This is insulated. That's why insulated means it will move. This is not an insulated inside. We got a bimetallic strip. Bimetallic means any metal which is expand. Two metals, each metal got a linear expansion is different. Thermal conductivity is different. So that metal which is light metal, which is lighter metal, which will expand faster than move the contact. So movement makes a contact. Everything is security submitted. It gives a signal security. So this sensor which is fitted in the engine room or some place where it is sensing the heat, it closes the circuit and gives the alarm to the fire control station, particular zone. But the zone, if you go also, there are different sectors. Which part you can identify easily. This is the bimetal type. Okay, next one is pneumatic type heat detector. This one has got a diaphragm. Diaphragm inside, the heat comes, the air inside expands. Okay, air expands. They have a fixed temperature adjustment screw. That means this adjustment screw you can adjust the temperature also. Some places you want a higher temperature, the alarm clock. Normally you get a false alarm and thing. Then you can use that. So this is a type of have a bleed valve is there and a diaphragm. The diaphragm start moving, it makes a contact. So this is actually shown like this. Actually, they have a insulation around that. You can't see from outside. What is inside is actually the air in this pipes. Then flame detector, infrared detector. Now you see the flame. Someone is lighting up a match or anything, or some gasketing. This kind of sensors, if it is fitted there, if something like a burning torch or gasketing, I think is anything lighted, immediately the alarm will come. Because it has got a catch frequency of 25 hertz. 25 hertz frequency is very less frequency, and due to the frequency, the flame detector, radiation from the flame reaches the detected lens, allows the infrared to pass, focus upon the cell. Signal from the cell goes to the cell P amplifier due to 20 hertz. It's a time delay unit to minimize instead of false alarm. Fire has to be present for 20 times. Okay. Now what it is? Now we have a neon lamp there. Now flame is the flame which is right in front of you. Something is burning. The flame reaches this area. Okay. And photoelectric cell is some kind of cell. What you are using, camera or photoelectric cell. Same thing. Like a camera, it is a camera like a lens. It catches the thing, the photoelectric cell. It amplifier. It is due to 25 hertz and they have a time delay. Why the time delay unit is there? Momentarily there was a fire, like lighting something, some lighter. So the lighter has to, after lighting the thing, you just put on lighter. So this is not alarm to immediately. That's called time delay is one. Otherwise, you have neon lamp sensor. This is called flame type infrared type. This is used in most of the places in the ship. It is one of the popular type flame detector. This one is trace one is heat detector. This is flame type. Okay, this is called flame detector infrared type. Then the smoke detector light scatter type. Light scatter type is what? Now we have some kind of passage. Something is there. The light is passing through. Suppose the smoke is coming in front of the light will get scattered. That light will get disturbed. That's called light scattering. That principle it is a photo cell. They'll show you the picture what it is. Okay, here we have a photoelectric cell. This is enclosure, the flashing lamp is there, and the light which is coming there through the thing will get distracted. Light will get scattered. Light will get scattered. It is scattered because of disturbance of the light, that beaming light, that alarm comes. That's called light scatter type. So these are the two types. One is called infrared type, other one is the light scatter type. This is smoke detector. See, this is the principle of photoelectric. This is the light scatter showing that how the beam is going when the fire is coming or smoke is coming through that. The light get disturbed. See, you focus something, some smoke is coming, passing through, the light will not fall properly on the lens. So this is an evaluation circuit with the screen. So the light is falling on the screen. If it is distracted by the obstructed by the smoke, then naturally the circuit will get getting activated with the smoke alarm. That is the main principle of that light scattering type. In some element, detectors photocell of like scattering it makes about 90 degrees to the parallel beam to her. So there are two types. One is the horizontal type, another one is this type. You have a smoke is coming like this, parallel light source, two light sources are the machine. Actually, they have two light sources of magnetic cell and parallel cell light cell. The machine cells here. The smoke comes from here, it gets disturbed. See the rays, shown as arrow, it will distracted. The rays actually not go past, it will get distracted by the smoke and you will get a machine photocell, you will get an alarm. It is connected to the circuit which gives an alarm. Then you got smoke combustion products and chamber smoke detectors. This is another thing, ionization chambers. The two ionization chambers are there, and in series radioactive material becomes a continuous supply of ionization. Remember that radioactive material which is banned on board ship, but actually with the permission they use it actually. Most of the ships, the radioactive material is something nuclear type of thing. So radioactive is harmful to the human nature. Most of the ships, the combustion products actually ionization chamber. This kind of thing is mostly without permission you cannot install them. So combustion product, radioactive chamber is open, infrared chamber is open. So what is happening here? Here we have a radioactive chamber and a resonance chamber. Any combustion gas reactor, for example, mostly this kind of gas reactor, where they fit it, you know that near the diesel engine exhaust manifold is there, just to that. In exhaust gas, there is combustion gas. It's a thick black smoke. If it touches come in contact with any oil or any inflammable products, will catch fire. That's the reason the combustion gas product is fitted in near the boiler, near the diesel engine, very close to that. Any exhaust gas leakage which is coming out will be measured by this detecting chamber, will activate this alarm, will give a alarm relay, and goes to alarm. So what is happening here? The detecting chamber is open, reference chamber is closed, operating a constant current. So the current supply is there, always there for the circuit. Now, since it's contained air which is being ionized, generally what is happening? Air is around, air is only there. The moment that what you call smoke comes in, then this current strength is dependent upon the applied potential. The potential is low, not all the ionized particles are electrons, some will be compared to the electron. So, moment you will get the disturbance of the air, the ions, what you call the ions in the air which is getting disturbed, then you will get an alarm. With the potential disturbed value, all the ions components are electrons to be actually beyond this current will remain approximately constant irrespective of the further increase in potential. So the potential difference is being measured between the cortex, between the terminals, where when the ionization takes place, the potential differences remain constant as long as the air. Moment there is what you call you have a saturation of smoke comes there inside the chamber, the ionization chamber. Then in this way, the reference chamber has a constant resistance. Combustion particle visible or even non-visible. Pass the open detecting chamber, the current will drop. This combustion product is made of larger, heavier particles than normal gas. So normally the gas molecules or combustion gases are having a carbon products or carbonaceous products, hydrocarbons, those kind of what you call carbon dioxide, those kind of carbon monoxide, those kind of heavier particles. When they come across this detecting chamber, when ionized particle are less mobile than ionized particle because of the increased bulk and lack of mobility, they readily combine with particles of opposite charge and get neutralized. So this effect increases the resistance of the detecting chamber, and this change in resistance produces a substantial change in potential difference. So the potential difference which is being measured, which is got a change because of the change in atmosphere, change in what you call that air, presence of combustion gases. It is very sensitive fire alarm, and time delay between 2 millimeters of incidence of false alarm. So you can have a time delay unit to avoid false alarm. Suitable machinery in wireless spaces. How do you test that? Suppose all kind of smoke alarm or any kind of testing facilities there. For example, just a cigarette smoke or a cigarette, just light a cigarette and just show it near them. So it will give alarm. Or a butyl gas is related to aerosol container. We have nowadays smoking that movement of that cigarettes are allowed. Use a gas container, this will be aerosol container they can use it. Photo optical detector, this type of light scatter detectors or this are light scatter detectors sensitive to both small combustion product, liquid fuel and flame gas. And the larger particle is smoldering fire. So it can use this light photo optical detectors can detect both the fires. One is the flame, the smoke with the flame also. The second part is larger particle is smoldering fire. Smoldering fire means what? There is no flame at all, really the smoke is coming, keep on coming. And that also. So you can have both the things. More sensitive, very sensitive for the photo optical detectors are more sensitive. High performance detectors take advantage of significant data rise temperatures with flaming fires. There is form rate of rise. When accumulated with a small increase in visible smoke, rate of rise temperature sensitivity to decrease the sensitivity of photo optical smoke detector. High performance photo optical detector, one thermal is smoke, the other is filtered. To show you the picture, here you have a beads, what you call thermistor beads are there. The smoke is coming out, going through that. You have this thermistor beads are there. What is outside, what is exposed, other one is closed. So you have an incident light, you just through that, you throw the light out that, this light beams will get disturbed by the smoke and scattered light to photocell. The scattered light will be from here, you have a reflector. Basically, inside you have a reflector, light will go through and reflect to the photocell, will sense fire, smoke very easily. See, this kind of photo optical detector was very compact and very easy. This is very powerful for the any kind of fire, which is having flame or without flames. It's not fire also. In case of gradual ambient temperature is no operating between the thermistor devices, optical detector will detect smoke from smoldering fires. Its normal sensitivity, the rapid rise temperature occurs, escort temperature, then the temperature rise more quickly than the shielded temperature. The second senses the difference in temperature increases the sensitivity of the light spectrum optical detector. The smoke detector and optical detector alarm sounds. This arrangement provides an increase in the sensitivity only when necessary without increase in false alarm, normally assessed with high sensitivity. Sensitivity, the one main whatever. Sensitivity means it senses fast. The sensitivity is very high, it means this electrode give false alarm. That's why the sensitivity adjustment has to be there. So normally it's adjusted by the light beam, the what you call the light. What type of light you provide there, which can act with this smoke. So second senses the difference in temperature. So different temperature will activate. Then one is called carbon monoxide. Generally, any kind of fire. Now, this present day have another type of new type of carbon monoxide reactor, which is not used on board, but for knowledge purpose, I am saying that on board not used, but it is used on generally on hotels or restaurants or big malls and all, where you have a shortage of oxygen, presence of carbon monoxide. They use it, but of course, it can be used in passenger ship where you have a big lot of big all over and limitation of percentage in early warning reaction of system. They say of carbon monoxide gas, unwanted fire produces carbon monoxide, poisonous, colorless gas, this one is very deadly like space fire. So what is happening when fire occurs? Oxygen is being used. Oxygen is being used, and generally the shortage of oxygen, only carbon monoxide will get out. Because carbon monoxide people will die because suffocation. So those kind of places, the carbon monoxide will be very effective. Carbon monoxide is atmosphere can be like to a electrochemical means electricity include electrochemical cell with a porous sensing electrode that is open to the atmosphere. So we have a electrical cell, electrode like a lead acid cell, we have a cell where you have a diffusion barrier. Okay, you have cardiac pens. It looks like a small battery only. Small battery what you are using for a car or something. Same thing, you have electrodes inside. Electrode means you have a chemical there, electrolyte acid is there, and you put distilled water and made it that electrolyte made it certain specific gravity. Now, the carbon monoxide sensors sense the diffusion barrier, and because the chemical form carbon monoxide is H2O equal to CO2 plus H and 2 neutral electrons. This is carbon monoxide and this is water, this is H2O, water. So what do you have inside this? Passes through this area, this with the diffusion barrier, it gives a difference in voltage. Basically, the potential difference will be showing. So this is a part of the detectors I am showing. Okay, this is a type. If you have any questions, you can ask, or I have to repeat some again. If anybody is having questions, please come forward. And before going to this topic, let us have a discussion. Okay. Just for